What's up all my Jeep and friends? Today's video is a bit of a diagnostic thing. It's not difficult. It's not long drawn out process, not really anyway. But it works on Jeeps, cars, motorcycles, trucks, whatever the case may be. You just have to know the specific number to look for, and I'll mention that here in a moment. Is your vehicle running hot? Are you losing antifreeze and you don't know where it's going? It's not going on the ground. Where's it going? Is it running excessively bad? Are you using a lot of oil? Okay, some of you seasoned mechanics may know where I'm going now. We're going to do a video on how to check your compression. Now, number 6 cylinder on my Jeep is a bit of a mess, you might say. I know it's pumping oil because I can pull my plug out every so often and it's got a lot of carbon buildup on the end of the electrode. So this motor needs built, and I've got an engine on the stand we're going to do sometime soon. Don't know when, but I'll get around to it. Yes, I will video that. So before we get this video started, hit that subscribe button down there, thumbs up for liking the video, and give me some comments about cool tricks you use for doing compression tests. Make them educational, make them where they help people. So enough of the gabbing, let's get on with the video. Okay, first thing you want to do, chalk your wheels up, because you got to take your Jeep out of gear. Now if you're an automatic, you don't have to worry about this, but mine's a 5-speed, so therefore I got to take it out of gear. So chalk my wheels up so the Jeep doesn't roll. I'm going to kick the shifter in neutral. There we go. See, put you out of gear. So that way when I go turn the motor over to do the compression checks, I won't run over myself. Cool. Okay, next thing you want to have handy is a piece of paper and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why 6? Because I got a 6-cylinder. But if you got 4 cylinders, number 1 through 4. If you got a V8, you know, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that, or whatever your firing order is for your motor, if that's what you don't get that much detail. Mine's a 6-cylinder, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull number 1 spark plug, do a compression check, and I'll write the number down here. Alright, the next thing you want to do is unhook your coil. Right here on the back side of your coil, you pick this tab up and push it back. Pop that off right there. That takes all the fire away from your coil, so whenever you turn the motor over to do the compression check, the cylinders doesn't try to fire, because you don't want them to fire. You don't want the engine to start at all. So now we're going to pull number 1 plug here, and I'm going to find the right size adapter, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. You get your ratchet set up. The ratchet's going to go that way, and using a 5/8 spark plug socket, we're going to take the plug out. Okay, once you get your plug out, give it a quick visual inspection. It's got that nice, really light brown color, not excessive carbon buildup, so that cylinder there looks like it's in pretty good shape, just from reading the plug. So now, right there's where it came from, so now we're going to find the right size adapter to screw in there for the compression tester. Now here's your typical compression tester kit that you would pick up at your local auto parts, and this actually did come from an auto parts store that's probably a few blocks away from here. I have my own, but what I wanted to do is show you guys a typical scenario. If you was to go to the auto parts store to rent one, this is what you would what you would look for. Mine are in perfect shape because I take care of my tools, but this one here is not in bad shape. This is one of your adapters here. As some of your cylinders, you will screw this directly into your spark plug hole. Some of them you'll use that adapter. What you want to look out for is, for one, are the O-rings there. I've seen them oftentimes, those O-rings are flat out missing. In the very end of it right there, you got a Schrader valve, much like the valve for your valve stem on your car, on your tires. If that valve's missing, you can't get a compression check. So you want to make sure your seals are good, make sure the threads for the adapters is in good shape. Do that before you walk out the door. This one here seems better days, but it's not totally beat up. Somebody got a little excessively rough with it. This tool right here, not much really. I don't see these damaged too much coming from the auto parts store. I have seen these get cracked or be scratched up real bad, but as far as functionality, this detaches from this hose here, so therefore, this gets screwed to the cylinder, so it takes more abuse than anything. This right here is going to be the valve that, okay, now you've ran your compression check, you've got X amount of pounds, it's time to bleed the cylinder, bleed the pressure down. You push this button, it'll go psh, and you'll bleed the pressure down and take the hose out, but you'll see that here in a moment. Alright, this should be our adapter we're going to screw into the cylinder. A person would think, let's take this, stick our fingers down inside that hole right there, screw this in first, then screw that adapter on. That's doing it the hard way. Screw this adapter on the end of this first, then we'll use this hose to reach it down inside the head right here, because it's kind of down inside there quite a bit. We use that hose as a means of turning this and putting it in place. Now some of you may comment, hey, I've never seen you wear gloves before. Well, I'm flying out for Nevada in the morning, and I've got crap all this stuff to do in the house. I don't feel like digging slime out of my fingernails tonight. So I don't like wearing gloves. I hate losing that tactical feel, but these gloves are pretty decent. These come from Harbor Freight. It's that black nitrile stuff. They feel pretty good. I don't lose a whole lot of the tactile feel, so I'm good with that. But I just don't feel like digging crap out of my fingernails now. I got too much stuff to do before I fly out for Nevada in the morning. So, okay, so let's screw this onto this, then screw it into that. Okay, we got a hose screwed in. Okay, I forgot to mention something, and I forgot to even show it to you. Put you a little bit of oil around all your O-rings to help it seal a little better. Typically not necessary, but I like to put a little bit of engine oil around that before you put it in. Again, I forgot to put it on camera and forgot to even mention it. So now what we're going to do, attach the gauge to this. And for those of you who don't know, this piece right here, if you grab hold of it and pull it back, it's like any other air nozzle like you'd use on your air compressor. Pull it back, insert that in, turn this loose, it locks it in place. Okay, we've got the gauge locked in place on the hose, and I've got it propped up here out of the way so it doesn't get in the way of any of your moving parts here. Now, you do not need the key on, so you don't even need the keys in the ignition. Lay the keys in the seat, something, you don't need them unless you got somebody inside there turning the key for you to turn the motor over. But you do not need to start it, hence the reason we unhooked the coil. Again, the Jeep is out of gear. If it's automatic, you want it neutral. Mine being a 5-speed, I've got it completely out of gear, got the wheels chopped for safety so you don't run over myself. Because what we got to do is go way down here. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, you got two different posts. You got the one right there with a positive battery here that comes with the positive battery post. Now right there, you see at the end of the screwdriver, it's a little small one that goes to that starts it. Whenever you turn the key, it energizes that wire, and turns it over. But what you can do is take your screwdriver, and the first time you do it, it's going to freak you out. Touch the screwdriver here, and short it out against that positive battery post. Touch it here, hit that positive battery post. Okay, now I'm going to do that again. We'll let you watch the gauge. The gauge has already built up some pressure. It's not going to build up instantly, but what you want to do is turn the motor over until it builds up maximum compression. So I want to do the starter thing again. And watch it until it builds up to the point whoops. Watch the gauge and let it build up to the point that it no longer builds up any more pressure. I mean, if it gets up to 90 and it stops, or it gets up to 110, 120, whatever. But once it stops building up pressure, that's when you're going to stop turning over the motor. Okay, see, it stopped at about 120 pounds right there. The Chrysler says it should have at least 100 pounds, so that cylinder is in solid shape. And you notice it bleeding down some. That could be various different reasons. That could be because the hose, this hose right here may not have a perfect seal into the spark plug hole. It could be bleeding down around the rings, but don't sweat that. It's not that big a deal. I mean, it's bleeding down so slow, it's not an issue. If it was a burnt valve, that thing will just drop down quick. If it was a blown head gasket, you would never get that much pressure. So, diagnostic wise, I mean, this cylinder right here is solid. And again, just to repeat, if you had a blown head gasket, you would never get that much pressure because it would blow that compression out through the water jacket or it'd swap over into another cylinder. If you had a burnt valve, you may get more pressure, but it's going to bleed down faster. And if you got bad rings, well, the only way we're going to know that is after I test all 6 cylinders, and one of the cylinders is going to be less pressure than the rest of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and test the rest of them until I get to number 6, and I want you to see number 6. Number 6, I'm suspecting it's got issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and test the rest of them real quick, and I'll write down the numbers on my little piece of paper here, which I haven't written that one down. I'm gonna write down 120 for number 1. That's number 1 cylinder. So 120 pounds for number 1. Then I'm gonna do number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I'm gonna do them real fast. Get the pressures on those. Then number 6, I'll pick the video up again because I think I've got an issue with number 6. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. One thing I forgot to mention before I shut the video off, had like 90 pounds on it while we were talking on the video. Push a Schrader valve right here, push it in. You'll hear a psh sound, it'll bleed that pressure down. Otherwise, it could be, you can get it off, but it'll make a loud pop sound sometimes. Or it'll make a really cantankerous about coming off. So either way you look at it, push that. If you got 90 pounds, 100 pounds on the gauge, and you're ready to test the next cylinder, push that button right there. You'll bleed the pressure down. Watch the gauge fall to 0. It's a lot easier to take that off. It's much more safe also. So, got my spark plug put back in. Tighten it down just like if I was installing new ones. You know, you don't want to crank it super tight. Just hit it, you know, till the bottom's out. Then you put a little bit of extra oomph to it, and you're done. Put your spark plug wire back on. And now we're going to number 2, and I'll be back with you guys when I hit number 6. Yeah, what the heck, I'll show you guys number 2 on the plug. Look how clean it's burning. That's a good plug. And like I said, when we get back to number 6, oftentimes I'll have a bunch of crap built up between the electrodes and the ground strap and the ground electrode because that cylinder's burning so much oil. So another clean plug, so I just want to show you guys that's a good looking plug. Yeah, I know somebody's gonna ask. I'm running Autolite 985s. Here's where I was mentioning, I'm gonna show you guys what this valve right here does. Still number 2 cylinder, and so the pressure's bled down now. It tested out 118, just a little bit lower than the number 1 cylinder, which is still well within margin, so that's good. So now, this thing, if you want to try to pop this off right here, it'll pop off, but you may blow the gauge completely out in the middle of the driveway or something, because it's under pressure. Button, watch the gauge. See, it just bleeds right down. Punch a couple times, the gauge zeroes out. Now we can take the gauge off. And so I can do this with one hand. Take the fingers here, pull this up, and it detaches. Super easy. Now here we are on number 6. Now see how nasty that plug is? Got a lot of carbon buildup on it. Odds are it's going to be bad rings. So I'm going to hook the compression tester up to it, spin the motor over, get a reading on it, and then right after that I'm going to clean this plug up. Some of you can say, well, put a new spark plug in it. You know, I have to do this about every 3 months, so I know that cylinder's bad. I've got an engine on the engine stand. I just haven't gotten around to start building it yet. But when I do, of course, like I said earlier, I will make a video as going through the building process. But until I do, there you go. This is what I do to make her limp on through. So, okay. Do compression test. Okay, I think I may be standing corrected simply because, okay, I'm going to do another compression check on it so you guys can watch it. I got pressure up to 120 pounds, but it bled down really fast. A lot faster than the other ones. The other one bled down to about 90 pounds and just sat there for a little bit and then bled down real slow. This one was pretty much a consistent drop all the way down. So watch. Stop it now. Watch it drop. The other 5 cylinders, you know, was within reasonably close to each other. And this one, no initial compression's up to 120 pounds, but it bled down really fast. What does that mean? Well, I've got all kinds of crud on the spark plug. Compression bleeding down pretty quick. Odds are I probably got a burnt valve. Not a bad one, but just enough to cause it to corrode my plug up, and also bad enough that it doesn't maintain compression. Like I said, every so often I got to pull that number 6 plug out and clean it, but I thought this is a good time to make a compression test video, because I've mentioned to a couple subscribers that, you know, talk to me about issues, this and that, and So I thought it was a good time to make a compression test video so you guys can see what's going on. This kind of answered the question for me as well, because I assumed it was just bad rings. It looks to me like I probably got a slightly burnt valve. So it is what it is. I'm going to run this sucker till I get the other motor built, because it runs pretty solid. It's just that every so often I got to clean that number 6 plug. Took the bench grinder with a little wire wheel, cleaned it up, knocked all that carbon buildup off of it. Now I'm going to put her back in. Yeah, I know plugs run a couple of dollars a piece, but honestly the plug didn't really hurt itself. The ground strap itself isn't got a lot of burnout in it. The center electrode isn't burnt out, no burn any weird angles or anything like that. It just had a bunch of corrosion on it. So there's no need to be spending a couple bucks just because I'm too lazy to clean a little bit of corrosion off. Now I'll put this back in. She'll run as smooth as she can be for I don't know, 3 to 6 months or so, depending on how much I drive it, which has been daily here lately. Then I'll pull that plug out, clean it again. Okay, got my number 6 cylinder put back in, and hook my coil back up, because I am officially done with the engine. There, push it till it snaps. I've got number 6 plug back in now. Give you guys a little helpful tips here. 1 through 5, using a 6-inch extension works out perfect. Number 6 cylinder, because it's so close to the drain tube back here for the cowl and all that, you got to drop to a 3-inch extension. Of course, using a typical 5/8 spark plug socket. Now, I told you guys earlier that you take this, screw it onto that, then screw them into the cylinders. Makes it a lot easier, because what you do is you use this as a handle, this hose as a handle to guide it and screw it in there. That works all fine through 1 through 5. Number 6 is a little bit different animal. Take the adapter off this. 17mm socket fits the back end of that just perfect. Then you take that and feed that adapter alone down inside there. This adapter sits up out of the hole enough that you can then reach in and screw that in a lot easier, much easier. So 17mm works with that adapter. Now if you get one from your auto parts store, it may be a bit different, but you know, you got the gist of it. 6-inch extension works great, except for number 6. Then you drop to a 3-inch extension. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the tip. Okay, somebody's going to ask, how much is it to get the loaner tool? Well, $43.69. Like I said, I have one in my shop, but I've been so long since I've got one from the loaner tool program, I really didn't know how much it was. So therefore, I went and got one just for the sake of the video, people. So there you go, $43.69, and it may be different depending on one auto parts store to another. I'm not going to get into name dropping, because whatever auto parts, because YouTube copyrights, blah 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 blah. Everybody wants to start getting all whiny about, oh, you used my name, I wasn't authorized to do that, man. But anyway, $43.69 for the loaner tool, but whenever you take it back within 48 hours, you will get a full refund. So you're basically just paying a deposit that if you don't bring it back within 48 hours, you bought it for that price. Now honestly, if you look around on Amazon a few places, you can actually get it cheaper than that. So I would suggest taking it back. If you're going to use one full time, a lot or whatever, buy one. Just for the sake of one job, $43.69 plus or minus a few bucks depending on your store, you're good to go. So now I want to take this one back and go get my money back. There you go, my Jeep and friends. That's how to do a compression test. What could I have done with number 6 cylinder to actually confirm my suspensions? Guys thinking about it? Think about it. What I could have done is shot some oil back inside number 6 cylinder, down inside the spark plug hole. Get you one of those little squeeze squirter can things with a little nozzle sticking out. Shoot some oil down inside there. Turn the motor over a couple times. You'll spread the oil around the rings. Then do another compression check. Then watch it bleed down. If it bleeds down at the exact same rate as it did before, odds are you've got a burnt valve. If it slows it down considerably, how much that pressure, the gauge when it bled down, if it slows it down considerably, then your rings are shot on that cylinder. So I mean, that's one way you could have done it. I knew that number 6 cylinder was bad, but I just didn't know. I thought it was going to be bad rings, and it still could be. But I've got another engine on the engine stand I'll build sometime or another whenever I can get around to it. Also, if you got between number 2 and 3, for instance, you're swapping pressure, Like if you tested number 2 and you got very low pressure, then you test number 3 and you got very low pressure, odds are you've got a blown head gasket between those 2 cylinders. Or if you test one cylinder and it doesn't build compression at all, you know, very little, 30-40 pounds, then once the pressure drops, the needle drops real fast, odds are you've got a blown head gasket going into your water system, into your water jacket. So there's a few scenarios that doing a compression test can tell you a big story about what's going on with your motor. So everyone, if you enjoyed that video and you learned something from it, give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Comments are down below. Make your comments educational to help our subscribers. Look at this whole thing as a community coming together to help each other. So make it educational, help everybody out. Cool? Cool. Alright, also check out www.fixedjeeps.com. That's where this video lands and lots of others. So go check it out. Also, new feature on fixedjeeps.com. I have added a feature to where you can showcase your Jeep on my website. You want to show your buddies off that, you know, you may have had to move to Florida. A bunch of buddies are back in Wyoming or something, I don't know. So you can upload pictures and upload the build sheet. Builds as in, I did this to my Jeep. I put a 4-inch lift kit on it. I built the motor. I did this, that. You spell it all out and put it up on my site. And I'll go into the back end console of it and I'll approve it. It goes up to my site for the world to see. Now, why would I build it to approve it? Now, come on, think about this. If you guys know what a keyboard commando is, you know, those people get all bad and mean because they're sitting at their desk behind a keyboard. No, they're bad when they're behind a keyboard, you know. Well, here's the deal. I don't want somebody posting a bunch of crap up on my website that's going to do nothing but tarnish the website. You know, somebody pushing some bad pictures or whatever, and they go up there instantly. So therefore, I've got it set up to where I will have to approve it before it goes public. So if you don't see it instantly, don't sweat it. I'll get to it in a couple of days, and they'll be up there for the world to see, and you can show off your Jeep. Cool? I'll put the link down below in the description. So everyone, if you like this video, thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below, make it educational. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Peace. Later, y'all.